What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Team Sztanyo Live. Running a few minutes late tonight. Some exciting things happening in the Sztanyo household. Some little scary things. But actually, my wife and my kids all just got rear-ended in a car accident, and everyone's okay. Everyone's doing fine. So, Mom, if you're watching this, everyone's okay. But yeah, rainy days here in Cincinnati, and someone rear-ended them. And not only that, but then while they were waiting for the cops to arrive, the person drove off without giving their information. So there's that's going on. But we're thankful that everyone is safe, everyone is sound, everyone is protected, everyone's home. But be careful out there, people. And you never know what's going to happen out there on the road. So thankfully, my wife just said that she had double checked everyone had their seatbelts on before while they were driving. She just had that mother's intuition that something was going to happen. So she looked around and made sure all those shoulder straps were around the kids and everyone's okay. So we can be here, even though we're running a few minutes late. We can talk about real estate. We can talk about what's going on in Cincinnati, all of the growth that is happening on the east side of Cincinnati and what that means. There's a major development that's looking to come out there over near Batavia in Clermont County. What does that mean for the area around there? What does it mean for Cincinnati as a whole? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about new construction a bit and just kind of this time of year. Working with a lot of buyers right now, and I've mentioned this kind of over and over on the channel that now more than ever, buyers have a little bit more leverage, have a little bit more power, have a little bit more say so in terms of negotiating power that they haven't seen in several years. And so from now, we're the night before Halloween. Oh, tonight's kind of the night we're all what do we call it as kids? Cabbage night, I think, where you go out and do some TPing. Do kids TP trees anymore? Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. Actually, I saw a video on X, I think last week, where some guy's house got TP'd. And he made a video. He's like, to the kids who did this, I just want to say, good job. I'm proud of you. Like, you're doing more than, just playing video games. Like, I appreciate your work. So anyway, Halloween, I was going to say, I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry about that. But this time of year is, buyers have a little bit more power. We're seeing more and more price reductions. We're seeing homes on the market longer. And we're going to look at new construction tonight. Specifically right now until the end of the year, November, December, I think is the best time of the year. If you're thinking about new construction, whether you're looking to relocate to Cincinnati, you're moving here, or if you're in the area and you're like, I would like a brand new home. I'm tired of dealing with sewer backups or furnaces that break or leaking roofs or whatever. And I would like something brand new. I'd like a beautiful floor plan. I'd like to pick all my designs. Now is a great time of year to shop for new construction. We're going to look at a few new neighborhoods that are coming out, as well as some of the, you can build from scratch right now, which is a good idea. And you're usually seeing some really good incentives from builders, but there's also probably the best way to get deals this time of year are all of the market homes, the spec homes that are already built by the Fisher Homes, the Dries Homes, the MI Homes, the Arlene House, the DR Hortons. These are this time of year in terms of incentives. Maybe that's a discount on your interest rate. Maybe that's just money off the house itself. We're going to look at that because it's a great time of year to go shopping. So as always, feel free to leave comments in the chat, interact here. Anything you guys want to talk about, we'll hit it up. But let's dive into some of these news here. First thing I want to show. Now, I showed this a few weeks ago, but this is going to launch us into the bigger development of the evening, which is this idea that Clermont County had this housing study done, and it revealed that they needed over 11,600 new housing units by 2045 because of this population increase. And currently, 25.6% of households are cost burdened, which means that's exceeding the state average. But there is a massive amount of population growing out on the east side of Cincinnati, out in the Clermont area, Clermont County area near Batavia. So this is where there is a lot of growth happening. We're going to look at this a little bit further here. So that brings us to our big story of the night, which is this, that a developer is planning an 808 lot subdivision in Clermont County. So let's dig into this article here. So an Ohio developer is planning a residential community with several hundred new homes in Clermont County. Stonelick Ridge is a proposed 808 lot subdivision on Ross Road in Batavia Township, located on the north side of State Route 32, about 2 miles past Eastgate and 25 miles east of downtown. So again, kind of got it highlighted on the map here so you guys can see it. We're looking at right off of Ross Road. So really this is just northeast slightly of Lexington Run by Fisher Homes. So this is a planned subdivision, that a development that went out years ago. It has a couple pools. A lot of people, I even have some clients right now that are looking to move into this area because they're like, we really like that area. It's great for work. We would really love to have a community pool. So this is a really nice neighborhood, Lexington Run. So just to the northeast of here, off of Ross Road, which is on the kind of the north side of Lexington Run, is where this development is being planned right here. Okay, so 808 different lots, and where you're at, you know, you're 32 east. So what I like to do here, just to give people a little reference point, I always like to go GABP. How long are you to GABP? Okay, so you're 37 minutes. Now this is rush hour right now. Let me change this to like leave depart at. Let's see what this looks like at like 7 p.m. So from downtown, typically you're more like 22 to 28 minutes to Great American Ballpark if you're out here in this side of Batavia, just to kind of let you guys know where this is at. All right, let's keep going on here. And it's about 2 miles east past Eastgate. And again, let me get back just to show you guys the Eastgate area here is right off of 275. So you've got Jungle Gyms, you've got Walmart, Supercenter, Meijer, you know, a lot of shopping and retail, Sam's Club, Aldi, you know, Crossroads East Side is out here, right? Let's see, right by Jungle Gyms, right here. So a large kind of branch of the mega church is out there. And the way they've kind of redone this 32 over the years here is so much better in terms of traffic. This used to be an absolute nightmare trying to get through here with all the traffic lights. There was Eastgate Mall. It was just horribly designed out here. It took literally forever to get through out here. But now the way they've kind of redone these exit ramps and there's a tunnel kind of coming out here. Everything flows really well out east towards Batavia, and that's where you'd be getting off here. Probably this Olive Branch Stonelick Road for this new subdivision. So let's keep going on here and take a look at this. So the site comprises a 425.5 acres. Most of it's covered by forest, though there is a single homestead owned by a private individual who controls the rest of the site through a holding company. So this guy right here, bam, you know, controls the property. He's held out for years. And he's like, all right, the price is right. Time is now to sell. So good for that guy who controls that land. The primary access point would be Ross Road at Olive Branch Stonelick Road, where a new roundabout intersection would be constructed. So again, Ross Road and Stonelick. So you're going to be looking, let's see if we can get right here at this intersection of Ross and Stonelick, and they would put in a new roundabout right here. Okay. And you'd follow Ross Road back. So that's where that is at. The developer is Dan Griffin, who also co-developed Evans Farm, a 1,250 acre mixed use community north of Columbus with 2,100 single family homes and 1,600 apartments. So I think that's important to note that this is not like a new developer. Okay. This guy put together a development that was 3 times as large in terms of acreage and 2,100 single family homes. So nearly, and 1,600 apartments. So 3,700 housing units, you know, that's nearly, what is that? 4.5 times more than this proposed 880 lot subdivision here in Clermont County. So this guy is just not new to development, right? It's important to note. Griffin has not responded to comment as of now. In a rezoning application, he describes Stonelick Ridge as a new kind of community, one that offers modern living with a community feel. I mean, you hear that all the time in new construction developments, modern living with community, like, I don't know, those are just feels like words. The project would offer multiple housing types of various architectural styles, including new custom homes, townhomes, patio homes, condominiums, and according to the rezoning application, neoclassical alley loaded single family homes. Okay, so that, you know, just going to this picture, when you're thinking about that and how the neighborhood is designed. You're not going to have the driveways out front, which I love that, by the way. The other place that has this nearby is Union Village up on kind of the north side of town. And it creates such a more beautiful street because all the driveways are in the back of the houses, not in front. And you have kind of alleyways to the garages and the driveways in the back. And so you've got these tree-lined streets. So this is Evans Farm in Lewis Center, Ohio, where Dan Griffin had already developed his development up there, taking a look at what it looks like up there. So you can kind of get an idea of what that might look like. But alongside of that, you're getting this mixed use of custom homes, townhomes, patio homes, condominiums. So you've got a blend of different price points, different types of products, so that it's within reach for a number of people there out in the community. So I kind of like that as well. Excuse me. So possibly hearkening to a recent housing study that found Clermont County, which is what we referred to at the top of the show here, will require 11,600 new housing units and a broader mix of housing types overall by 2045. Griffin in the application said Stonelick Ridge will offer a wide range of lot sizes to accommodate various lifestyle changes, from new starter homes to empty nester homes. An amenity center would include a pool, a clubhouse, a playground, pickleball courts, and a fishing pond. So a lot going on here, a lot of different product types reaching out to different people. I mean, when you've got a need of 11,600 units, it makes sense to try to reach different demographics, from young professionals to young families to retirees who are looking to downsize as well. It sounds like all that is there. And then you're going to have the pool, the clubhouse, the playground, the pickleball courts, the fishing pond. So amenities to reach a lot of different people, and a lot of people may even look to be moving into this area for multi-generational living. So you might have the family in the larger single family home, whereas you could have grandma and grandpa at the nearby townhome, and they could still enjoy the different amenities there. So I like kind of where this is going. Griffin in the rezoning application said the project would proceed over 5 phases, with the first phase starting in early 2026 and the last phase concluding in 2023. So this is a multi-year project, right? It's going to be happening over 5 phases. And if you want kind of your first pick of the lots, then it sounds like 2026 might be the first. Early 2026 is where you can be on the lookout for that option. It's the largest residential project ever proposed in Batavia Township. I'm going to say that again. It's the largest residential project ever proposed in Batavia Township, both by number of homes and acreage, according to Taylor Corbett, director of the Batavia Township Planning and Zoning Department. Corbett noted, however, it would not be the township's most dense project. So a huge project that's coming out, but you're not packing everything in there. We'll keep going in there. We'll keep talking about in terms of the size, the density, and how big the lots are going to be. Lexington Run, a Fisher Home subdivision that abuts the Stonelick Ridge site to the southwest and buffers it from Route 32, is significantly denser. So let's, again, just looking here again at Lexington Run. In fact, why don't we just kind of walk through here? Here's where you're entering Lexington Run, okay? Off of Olive Branch, Stonelick Road. And then let's kind of show you what this looks like. There's it's going to be much more dense here. So here, you've got more of these patio homes in this area of Lexington Run, what that kind of looks like. And this was made by, these were all Fisher homes, okay? And then let me show you guys what some of the, see, I just sold a property back here not too long ago. I won't show that exact area there, but here's some of the single family homes, right? And you can kind of get a feel for the density that's in here. So some different properties types in the neighborhood, some large single family homes, but also patio homes. Let me see if I can get you guys to, there's also a really nice kind of pool area here and pond right around here. So here's the pond, here's the clubhouse and pool out here in Lexington Run. Hard to see from the street, but I'm just trying to give you guys a feel. Okay. So this is Lexington Run nearby, and here's the playground over here. Playground, clubhouse, pool in Lexington Run here. So Lexington Run is significantly denser. it offers 771 dwelling units on 276 acres for 2.79 units per acre, whereas Stonelick Ridge would offer 1.9 units per acre. That's pretty significant. So 276 acres versus, what was it, 445? Was that the number? 425. Okay. So it's going to feel a lot more spread out even than Lexington Run. Batavia Township's zoning code recommends a maximum density of 3 dwelling units per acre for planned developments. So around 180 acres or 42% of the site would be reserved as contiguous wooded open space with about 5 miles of hiking and biking trails. So again, going back to this map, and where we're looking at, lots densely wooded here, right? And they're going to leave, what did I say? 180 acres of this is going to be left as wooded area. I think that's phenomenal. Really happy to hear that. And I love the idea of creating a community that has all these different amenities, the pool, the clubhouse, the fitness center, the pickleball courts, but also the trails. I think the trails are so important to leave. Makes the community feel so much better, especially if you can stay in the woods. Walking through a subdivision on sidewalks is nice. Walking through the woods is so much better. So I'm really happy to hear this. I think this is great. That's partially due to the topography of the site, which features some steep slopes that are difficult to build on, according to Corbett. So Griffin presented Stonelick Ridge. I'm going to get my tea here. Hang on a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, it's still too hot. Too hot. Lost some taste buds. Okay, let's let that cool a little bit more. Griffin presented Stonelick Ridge first to the Clermont County Planning Commission in September, then to the Batavia Township Zoning Commission in October, seeking to change the site's zoning to create a planned development district. The Planning Commission, September 23rd, recommended approval. The Zoning Commission's 5-member body on October 9th voted 2-2 on the rezoning, with 1 commission member and adjacent property owner abstaining, and a tie vote is the same as a recommendation of denial. So it's not, as far as I know, has not gone through yet. And you've got 1 property owner, maybe there in Lexington Run, 1 member of this commission on the Planning Commission who so far has abstained from their vote. The rezoning request, so we'll see, I don't know exactly what, why they abstained or what they want changed, but it sounds like there's a rezoning request that will go before the Batavia Township Board of Trustees on November 5th. So I will keep you guys posted on that. It's October 30th as of this recording. And so next week, what is that? Is that next Friday? Help me out. Next Wednesday. Sorry, I lost track of what date it is. So next Wednesday, it'll go back in front of the Planning Commission. The trustees will consider the plan not as it initially surfaced in September, but with changes and conditions arising from the Batavia Township Planning and Zoning Department staff. The zoning commissioners and Griffin himself, who in the October 9th meeting offered to make a significant change to the project. Perhaps the most significant conditions would see Griffin and more buffering for adjacent property owners and reduce or eliminate housing on the steepest slopes. Okay, so what you might see here, if you've got Lexington Run, maybe you're doing more buffer around in this area right here between these houses, or maybe potentially it's between these houses over here, and then on the steepest areas. So let's take a look at that. Let's look at the terrain. So you can see where it is steepest up on this ridge right here. And there's kind of these different fingers of ridges. So they're saying less homes up here. So that might make sense. If you've got some homes up there already and it's already steep, maybe they're buffering a little bit more up there in changes to the plan. So sounds like if this developer, Dan Griffin, was there, these changes are being made to be put back in front of the committee here. Most of the other conditions are minor, relating to clarifications, requests for more information, additional amenities, and further details on landscaping and traffic infrastructure that would be contained in an eventual final development plan anyways. More salient, Griffin's original plan for Stonelick Ridge included a 3-acre town center immediately after the Olive Branch Stonelick Road roundabout entrance. And the town center would have comprised a pair of 2-story, 24,000 square foot commercial buildings with businesses like a coffee shop, a State Farm office, a child care center, and a bank in first floor spaces and offices above. It would have been served by a 118 space parking lot. So again, he's thinking through not only the housing, but if you have right here at this intersection, probably is where it would go in. You have this commercial space that could serve not only Stonelick Ridge, which is coming in, but also Lexington Run. Pretty good idea, especially when you're thinking of what these items offer: a coffee shop, a State Farm office, so insurance, childcare center, and a bank. However, Griffin, responding in part to community pushback, offered verbally in the October 9th hearing to remove the commercial portion of the development. He said he would offer to dedicate the acreage to the township to build a new fire station, which it sorely needs amid significant population growth. Okay. And that is feedback that I have heard again and again. I did a video on Harvest Meadows, I think, in Batavia a few months back. It's probably been over a year now. And that was a pushback from most Batavia residents, which is this tension here between, yes, we need new housing, but it's putting such a strain on the community, the community services, right, of the police department, of the fire department, of the schools. And so it sounds like at this meeting, there's probably a lot of pushback from Batavia residents again, which good for them. Like, those are what those meetings are for, to say, look, hey, and that was the pushback on Harvest Meadows, which was offering this huge tax abatement, which, by the way, they're still selling out there, still a huge tax abatement. I've had multiple clients go and buy out there to take advantage of that. But the current residents of Batavia were like, you mean you're adding all these people who are taking a toll on the police services, on the firefighting services, on the schools, and they're not paying any additional taxes, any property taxes? That's just going to put a strain on the entire system. And so that has been the normal feedback so far, and I get it. Like, I don't blame them, right? So he's pulling back from that commercial portion of the development and instead saying he would dedicate the acreage to the township to build a new fire station. I mean, that's if you're looking to make this deal, and that seems like a good compromise, or if you're wanting to be on good terms with the township, seems to make a lot of sense. So plans are being updated to reflect the town center's removal ahead of the November Board of Trustees meeting. So again, we'll follow that closely and see what happens here in November 5th on that meeting. At the same time, the township is assessing whether the town center site is actually suitable for a new fire station. If not, Griffin could feasibly add the commercial portion back in, though it's not clear he would do so. So we'll see, and we'll keep you posted on that fire station versus the commercial development. So very interesting. We're gonna start there, and then I'll show you guys a few other things. What's going on, Alex? I am doing well. You just got back from vacation. I should have stayed down south. Yes. Well, we're starting just now to hit into that darker, colder season. It's going to continue to get darker. We're going to have the fall back here coming up. That's coming up pretty soon, right? Where we roll back the clock. So at least you get an extra hour of sleep and hopefully a little bit more daylight then. But yeah, from now until when is it? When is the winter solstice? Like December 21st, gets a little darker, gets a little colder. So we're bracing ourselves. But right now we're not there yet. We are, we're still, it's this weekend. Thank you. So we roll back the clocks this weekend. Appreciate that, Alex. Right now the colors are beautiful, right? I posted, let's see if I can pull this up real quick. I don't know if my story's still up. Yeah. I mean, look at this. It's pretty hard to beat. It's pretty hard to beat, the fall in December or, the fall in Cincinnati here, in my opinion, in terms of the leaves turning. It's been forever. Like, usually, oftentimes we'll see these start to change more early October. So they're finally starting to hit. I hope they all don't drop really quickly here, because I was born in Michigan. I love the Michigan colors. We don't get them quite as vibrant here as we do in Michigan, but they're still pretty spectacular. And I know a lot of people looking to move here, this is something they kind of bring up over and over again. We say, hey, we need to kind of brace for winter. They're like, look, I've been in California, or I've been in the desert in Arizona or Texas or Florida or wherever. Like, I'm happy to have the 4 seasons again. That's one reason I want to move there. I actually don't mind the cold. I actually would like to play with snow. Snow sounds amazing. And so for local residents who that's all they get, they're kind of like, I hate the winter. Don't want, we want to get out. Whereas some other people want to get in. How do I think the Bengals will finish this year? Okay. I was just looking at this today. We're currently 3-5. That Jets game, I think, probably blew their playoff chances, to be quite honest. They are way more fun to watch with Joe Flacco than they are Jake Browning. But we were looking, let me pull that up real quick. If I were to look at the Bengals schedule, I think to get in the playoffs, they have to go 6-3 the rest of the way. So we're looking at, we've got the Bears, Steelers, Patriots is looking tough. Ravens, if they split these games, I think they're doing well, but I don't even know if they'll be able to do that. Especially if Lamar is coming back. I mean, the offense is so atrocious. These look like 4 losses to me, to be quite honest. But you probably have to split one of these to get into the playoffs, and you've got to beat Bears, Steelers, Dolphins, Bengals, Browns, or Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns. If you get Burrow back, or even with Flacco, I think you can win these 3 games right here. I don't think Browns will be playing for anything significant there. The question is, can you beat the Bears and then Steelers in Pittsburgh, right? And it's like, I don't know, maybe. So I think they probably fall short for the playoffs this year. And my feeling with them is, even if they got in, we'd probably be setting ourselves up for just like an ugly playoff loss where Joe Burrow, they score 38 points again and lose. Those are just getting hard to stomach, right? It's like, and that's exactly, the team the last few weeks looks exactly how I thought the team would look going into this year, where they would score 1 billion points and give up 1 billion points. But I assumed that we would see some progress in the defense. And it not only looks bad, it looks worse, which is like, and I kind of had that thought when Anarumo left. I'm like, he's like a great coordinator. Like, he can stop Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and like Lamar. And I'm not saying Al Golden's bad. I'm just like, how do you miss on this many picks or not develop them, or what? Like, what, you've spent so much draft capital on this defense, and it's looking rough, looking real rough. So, okay, so let's head back into this. So, we were mentioning this before. What's the growth that's happening out in Clermont County? If you guys want to know more about this, I mean, just go back and look at a lot of these articles going back a couple of years. You've got the growth that we talked about in terms of the housing that's needing, TQL's expansion, Cincinnati Children's with an $85 million build out on the east side. Builders eye the new east side frontier for housing. That's what we're just kind of talking about tonight. So this is going back over a year. A $550 million factory near completion on Cincinnati's east side. Cincinnati's VA to open new center on the east side. And so I bring all that up to say, like, if you're looking, if you're looking to relocate here, I kind of keep pointing people a little bit this way. I'm like, look, guys, that's where a lot of growth is. Not, if your job's on the west side or like in Boone County or something, you might not want to be in Batavia, but there's so much growth happening out there. My point is, like, it's a good place to bet on for appreciation in future years. Whether you're relocating here or you live here and you're like, I want to get in on that. There's just so much growth happening on that side. That's where, going back to this map again, that's where the housing is needed, but it's also where, like, the land, as you get east of Batavia as well. Like right now we're talking about Batavia, but it's not going to stop there. And you're going to see built up around East Fork Lake. That's really a great state park out there. And what do you have out here? You have farmland, heading out to Williamsburg and, Mount Orab, even if you go out that far. And I think there's going to be continued growth east of Batavia on 32, but we're also seeing that growth, over in Goshen right now. And I think that's going to continue to make its way out to Blanchester as well. That's just where there is a lot of land to build. That's where builders can buy these, buy up these parcels and do these kinds of developments. So it's a good bet if you're looking at where appreciation is going to happen. The other thing, if we zoom out a little bit further, is just the connection points that are happening between Dayton and between Columbus. And I'm seeing more and more, tech growth happening in Columbus, and I'm seeing more and more advanced manufacturing and logistics kind of companies and aerospace happening in Cincinnati. And I think the connection between these two cities is only going to grow. And that, again, makes more sense as to why on the Cincinnati side, where there's land, where there's flatter land. I mean, look at the topography here too. And so you just see kind of like where it's a little bit easier for builders. Now, you might not like that as a homeowner. You might like the hills, and you might like something more in Boone County or Kenton or Campbell County as well, where you can get some of those beautiful rolling hills on the Kentucky side. And I get that. But if I were to put money on it, like, we're going to see more and more and more out here in the years to come. So speaking of that, actually, let's take a look a little bit more here. Next article I want to hit is this one. So Dries, talking about building more on the east side. Dries Homes plans an 124-acre community in Clermont County. Well, how about that? Who could have seen that coming, right? So one of Cincinnati's largest home builders is planning a sizable new community, albeit not as dense as initially hoped, in a rapidly growing eastern suburb. Dries Homes in September filed plans with the Clermont County Planning Commission and the Batavia Township Planning and Zoning Department for the subdivision on 124 acres on the east side of State Route 132. So look, guys, it's our same friends that we just talked about. It's the Batavia Township Planning and Zoning Department who needs to approve another development out on the east side in Batavia. I'm telling you, it is coming. More and more is coming out there. The site comprises 2 land parcels southwest of Sycamore Park, Wilson Nature Preserve, and the East Fork Little Miami River, about a mile south of downtown Batavia. So let's look at where this one is. So we are talking right, what did it say? 2 land parcels southwest of Sycamore Park, Wilson Nature Preserve. Okay. So Sycamore Park, and there's Elks Run, Wilson. Let me hang on a second. Here's Sycamore Park. So I think we're looking right off here off of Cleft Pike. I think I've looked at this before. And look at this. This is another development that's been going on. But we're looking, I think, at this parcel right in here for this other one, just southwest of downtown Batavia. About a mile southwest of downtown Batavia. Dries holds the 63.7-acre parcel close to Route 132. The lot farther from the road, extending toward the nature preserve, remains in the hands of a private individual. The home builder acquired the front parcel from the same private individual that owns the back of the site for $637,000 in December of 2023, according to public records. So the original plan called for 295 residential lots, or 2.4 dwelling units per acre, with 42.4 acres, or around 34% of the site preserved as open space. The site's current agricultural zoning would only allow it to be developed around 38 lots. Dries proposed 2 lot sizes. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So we'll keep an eye on this. It sounds like this is being, kind of the same thing here, right? Where they're figuring out the zoning to that end. Dries in the meeting committed to eliminating up to 25 lots in the subdivision, bringing it in line with the township's plan development recommendations and the growth policy plan. The Batavia Township Board of Trustees, November 5th, will consider the rezoning request and development for this project, as well as another large project. So both of these projects are going to be at this meeting November 5th. Dries intends to create a paved walking trail through the property with connecting to an existing trail extending to Sycamore Park through Wilson Nature Preserve. Other expected amenities include a community pool, a clubhouse, and a fishing pond. So let's go to that. Let's take a look at Sycamore Park. And let's take a look here. So the trail will connect to this park, which is great. I love that. Easy access to this park. And then you're going to have a pool. You're going to have a fishing pond as well. Well, this is nice. The creek running through it here. Can hear the ice cream truck in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So there's Sycamore Park, and right there. So you're looking to make a trail right off of 132 that is connecting from probably this lot or this parcel they have closer, connecting to the park. So more housing out on the east side. I'm gonna keep saying it. Housing and growth is happening on the east side of Cincinnati, out in Batavia Township, out in Clermont County, and it's going to keep coming. So, yeah, there's a look. Let's talk a little bit about new construction in general. I wanted to bring this up to you. Give me 1 second here. Let me stop that and bring. Share screen. Okay. So thank you, Joy, for sending me this with Drees Homes. This is just a list of Drees Homes in November, and I don't need you guys to get like too into the details here. But what I want to show you, what I was talking about early on in this video, was the fact that from now till the end of the year, if you're thinking about new construction, it's a great time to shop. Great time to shop from now, November and December, because you're going to see these houses that have been built out by builders that are on the books. And if that buyer demand is not hitting where they want to hit, you'll see price reductions. You'll see bigger incentives off interest rates if you go with their lenders. This is a great time of year to buy a new construction home, whether that's a townhome or a patio home or a condo or a single family home. It doesn't matter. This is a great time of year to buy. Now, if you're looking to build new and you want to pick all of your selections, again, typically you want to time that up with the school year. A lot of families I work with look to build a new house. In fact, I have a family who's doing this on the west side of town up by Harrison, who's looking to build they just signed a contract with Drees Homes. And we said, look, this is a great time where you can kind of thread the needle, where you can get the discount for the builder. So you're buying in the winter, but as that's being built, we'll wait and we'll sell your house in the spring, where we can get top dollar in the spring and take advantage of the rising, house prices that happen every spring here in Cincinnati. So you have the most buyer demand in the spring. That's when sellers can get their top price, but you have the least amount of buyer demand in the winter. And that's why, again, there's more. It's just simple economics, right? It's just supply and demand. And so typically this time of year, there are less buyers. That's why you as a buyer can get a better deal. There's just less demand. And so prices are going to come down with that. Whereas if you wait till the spring, you're going to have more inventory. You're going to have more options to choose from. However, it's you're going to pay a little bit more for it, because there's more demand, less supply, typically, or houses sell a little bit faster that time of year. And so, when you're fighting against other buyers, that's when you can get into multiple offers. That's when you're paying a little bit more on the house. So I bring this up to mention it again, to show you guys just a little bit around here. I'll try to make this a little bigger here. Some of these prices. So here's one at the Reserves in Batavia. It was $444. It's now $429. So they came down 15 grand on that one. This one was $864. It came down to $854 at Caravel up in Liberty Township. A couple of these larger homes, right? In Sycamore Woods, these are Sycamore schools. So one was $1.189 million, and that came down $90,000 in price to 1.1. Likewise, this was 1.15, came down to 9.9. So some large discounts there with Drees Homes. Obviously when you're looking at smaller price points, the usually the reduction won't be quite as good, but by percentage standpoint, it's still good. 364 down to 359, 650 in Trailhead down to 629. Denali out there, in the Denali section, there's the Naples B plan, and there's a Buchanan out there. It looks like that's for sale. And so I just want to show you guys, like, keep an eye on this. And by the way, let me again make my disclaimer that I always make on new construction. If you're thinking new construction at all, please reach out to us first. Okay, reach out to a real estate agent first. Let us connect you, because we have these builder connections. Guys, I sell a lot of new construction in the area, whether it's with Drees, whether it's with Fisher Homes, whether it's with DR Horton, whether it's with Arlene House. I have these relationships in place where I'm able to help you get the biggest discount. Now, if you go to the builders directly, if you fill out a form on the website directly, if you call them, or if you even go into a model home and you don't tell them that you're working with a real estate agent, well, they're going to register you at that threshold meeting, because that's where you came in. And then even if you want to work with a real estate agent, a lot of times they then will not pay for the commission for your agent, because they feel like they generated that lead. They generated you, the buyer, themselves from their own marketing activities. Whereas if you come in with an agent, or at least say, hey, I'm working with this agent, need you to talk to them, or we do that introductory meeting with you, we do that threshold meeting, then, and whether or not you're looking for these different builders, like usually we'll do it with, hey, let's look at Drees, let's look at Fisher. If you're looking at a production builder, same thing with the custom home builders as well. So whether that's Five Daughters, or whether that's Justin Doyle, or other custom builders around town, same thing is, we need to make the introduction. What's the advantage for you? Well, you get our negotiating skills that we spend all of our life doing, right, at Team Sztanyo. And we work with new construction over and over again. So we kind of know when to push and when not to push, and what's a good deal, helping you understand new development phases, helping you understand, the best lots to choose from, helping you to understand what to choose in your selections that will be good for resale value, helping you to understand things like, I'm showing you guys out in Clermont County with all the growth out in Batavia Township. We have that experience. And then even just on the build itself, like, just because it's new does not mean it's perfect. I'm going to say that over and over and over and over again. Just because it is new construction does not mean it's perfect. Okay. Things go wrong. There are people building these homes. They're building a lot of these homes. Things can go wrong. I always strongly recommend that you get not only one inspections, but get two. If you can afford it, get two inspections. Get one pre-drywall. It depends on the builder, but Fisher Homes, for example, they're the largest production builder here locally. They only allow you to bring in one third-party inspector, okay? I recommend that you do that before the walls get covered. Do that at the pre-drywall inspection. Hire your inspector. You're probably not going to find a lot of things, but you might find, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 5 things. It's like, oh, that board needs to be replaced. That wasn't connected well. Can we fix that thing before we do the thing? Get all that stuff taken care of before the drywall goes up, right? Hey, that plumbing connection wasn't fit right, whatever it is. And then as you go through your build process, you get to do a walkthrough with the builder, usually with Fisher, with Drees as well, before you close on the home. And they're gonna touch up everything. So you're gonna go through with blue tape, you're gonna mark everything up. But usually with these builders, you have a 1-year warranty program after you buy the house. So I recommend, if you want that second inspection, do that, and you only get one, then do that. And with Fisher, you only get one. Do that after you close. And then you can just leave that on your list, hand it back to Fisher Homes, say, hey, my inspector got up on the roof. The ridge vent needs this. The gutter needs that, whatever it is. They're going to be minor things, but these are all the tips, right? And why it's helpful to have a real estate agent on your side, because it's brand new, but it's not perfect. Okay. And things can go wrong. And just know, these builders, they are trying to sell you. And if you're reading bad reviews online about new construction, which I recommend you go read your reviews, it's usually not in the build process. Oftentimes it's for people trying to get things done after the build process, and they're having a hard time. So it's just helpful to have a third party, a real estate agent on your side who can be the negotiator in between. Who, if something goes wrong, we don't want anything to go wrong. I'm not saying everything is going to go wrong, but sometimes they do, right? And it's helpful to have someone be like, hey, can you talk to the builder about this? Can you put a little additional pressure on them? Yes. So there's the general market knowledge. There's the negotiating to save you extra money. And then there's just being alongside you throughout the build process and even after. That's why, again, we specialize in this new construction. And with all this growth that's happening in the Cincinnati area, both in Northern Kentucky and Cincy, it's like, hey, give us some advice on what areas to go to, what areas not to go to. In fact, I was working with someone who's moving here from Buffalo, and they were looking at a particular area. And I was like, between these two areas, I'm not going to lie, I think there's more growth and more infrastructure and more momentum over here than over there. And they're like, thank you. Like, now you've got to ultimately make your decision. I can't steer, right? But I can say, here are the trends. Here's what I'm seeing from an infrastructure standpoint. Here's what we're seeing from appreciation and sales and so forth. So, okay, a few more questions here. How much of a premium would it be going with a custom builder versus a mass builder? It's not necessarily a huge premium. There's different pros and cons on going with either approach. Custom builders often do larger homes. And so part of it is just like they're doing a bigger home, they're doing higher end finishes. So it's hard to say one-to-one, but like Dries and Fisher, like they just had their what are they called? Their showcase of homes on the south end of Triple Crown that Fisher did, and Dries built in there, and they built alongside of custom builders. So they can do a really nice $1 million plus home, and they can do all the finishes as well. But custom builders usually have a little bit more attention to detail, a little bit more attention to materials used, things like that, and you have more options on what you can do in terms of the plans. Usually speaking, with a custom builder, you're like, I just finished an addition on my home, and we were able to design the whole thing. We're like, we want to host a huge group of people, like a huge group of people, and we couldn't find a home out there that had the size of the great room that we wanted for family events and for church events in our house. And so we're like, well, we're just going to build it. And so we used our own architect, and we used a custom builder to build the house. So you get that. Now the cons of that is like, it tends to be a lot more work on you. Like you don't have all the systems quite in place. And so it can be a little bit more bumpier. Like some of the major advantages of working with these production builders is like, it is systematized, right? Like they're like, you don't get to choose, like there's some variations on the plans, but they're more minor. You don't get to make a whole custom, like, I want this big thing here. They're like, no, here are the options. There's like ABC variation that you can do, but this is it. Because they crank those puppies out, right? They are like, but the nice thing about that is they have the processes in place. Like your home is done in 6 months, right? Or 7 months. And so, and they have the teams, they have the builder team, they have the sales team, they have the marketing team, they have all these different teams that you're working with. And sometimes with a custom builder, it might get a little bumpier as you're getting handed off potentially, or it's just like the relationship can get a little bit strained. So it's pros and cons, and you do get what you pay for. Okay. No matter which route you're going to, it's like, it all kind of works out its way in the end. Okay. I'm going to have to get moving here. I'm just realizing this is going a little bit late, but so yeah, I want to show you guys this. Just keep an eye out on this. And whether this is Dries, whether it's Fisher, just know that there are, again, from now, this was October 12th. So I need an update on this, because I guarantee you that from now through November, I'm going to get these updated lists. So these are Dries homes on the Kentucky side here. And there's a lot of these guys, a lot of great homes that are out there that I'm telling you. There's my girl, Kelly. She's awesome. Shout out to Kelly at Dries Homes. Where like there are going to be price reductions on these homes. There are going to be price reductions. So if you're thinking of new construction, I'll say again, like reach out to us. We would love to hook you up and get a deal on some of these great homes. And, as people are thinking about new construction, oftentimes they're like, oh, they're so expensive compared to resale homes. And the answer is like, yes, depending on what you want to do that resale home. Like if you're okay buying that home that's 25 years old, and everything is oak like finishes, and like the backsplash is 25 years old. Like if you're fine living with that, then yes, the price per square foot is going to be significantly less. Like I have some other clients right now that we're shopping in Independence specifically, but we're also kind of looking at Walton, and we looked at Union over in Union Promenade and these various houses. And we saw a home in in Orleans. in Union. And we found this house. I'm like, this is a really good house. And for the money and for this neighborhood, this is a great spot to be. But there were updates to do. So you've got to weigh like, okay, yeah, this home is, let's call it 425, and building this new would be 500. Okay. For about the same house. And so, yeah, that seems like a very big difference. But then you go and price out what it costs to update your kitchen or a bathroom if you're not doing the work yourself, and the time and hassle of doing that while you're living in the house. And those numbers start to get a lot closer. Or you've got an HVAC system that's 12 years old or 18 years old, or a roof that, that's 15 years old. Like, those are the things you need to factor in the price per square foot when you're thinking of a resale home versus new construction. Now, there's other advantages to the resale home. You've got you have a well-established community. You're not dealing with mud on the streets all the time, or dust being kicked up by all the construction crews, or nails on the streets popping your tires. That can happen in new construction. Or landscaping that's brand new, and you got all these like twig trees that are like, hang in there, buddy, you're gonna make it one day, right? Like, you could see all the houses because you don't have all the trees that are built up. And so there's pros and cons to each. Usually in those new construction homes, especially like in a place like Ballyshannon or Harvest Meadows or out in Goshen as well, you're going to be you're going to be living with more younger families. Whereas if you buy in a resale community, that community might be turning over. Let's say that community was built 20, 25 years ago. Well, everyone who's in their 30s and 40s raising their family then are now in their 50s and 60s. And some of them have sold and some of them have not. And that's okay. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just letting you know, like, it depends on what you want. There's pros and cons to each of them. So that's a little bit on the new construction side. So yeah, just be on the lookout for these guys. If you're thinking of new construction at all, I just wanted to bring this up, especially this week as we're going through the last few months of the year here, that there are going to be some great deals on these properties, like something like this in Stillwater. This Hialeah, I love this floor plan, by the way. Like, a good chance you're going to see a discount on this home. Homes in Traymore as well. Homes that are already finished and have been sitting as you're getting closer to December. And that's on the Dree side. Here's some homes on the Fisher side as well, out in Trailhead, Reserve at Deer Run. Like, I guarantee if I get this list pretty soon, we're going to see some red strikes going through these on these quick move-in homes. And there are going to be some sales coming. So just want to mention that as we are working through tonight. Okay. A few other things, a few other fun things, I guess, before we will wrap it up for the night. And I gotta eat. I gotta take my kid to Bible study. So let's see here. Let me 1 second. Swap out my screens again. Sooner or later, I'll figure out how to have multiple of these. I'll actually have 5 minutes in my week to figure out how to use StreamYard and have multiple screens up at the same time. I will get it one of these days, guys. I promise. All right. A few things I wanted to show. Okay. Some fun things towards the end of the day. I like these. These are fun. So just here's a look at some of the Cincinnati homes. So if you guys just like to oogle a little bit at some of the more expensive luxury homes in the area, here's where we're at here. So we had the luxury home market remained strong in Cincinnati. There've been 51 sales so far in 2025 of $2 million plus homes in Cincinnati. The top 10 home sales averaged 2.17 in September. Overall, Southwest Ohio home sales increased 4.6% from last year. I don't know if that's just luxury homes or what that is exactly. But here's Ledgestone Way in Hebron. This is actually in Rivers Point, which I love that community. I've showcased that a lot. If you want to be close to the airport, if you want a master plan development, if you want to be in a place that's going to see appreciation for years to come, if you want hiking and horse trails and camping and a pool and pickleball courts and playgrounds and commercial out front, Rivers Point Estates in Hebron, Kentucky is awesome. Okay. I love this community. I love it. So if you're interested in that and you're like 12 minutes from the airport, 12 minutes from the airport, and you're not getting planes going over you. Like it's like, this is a really good spot in Northern Kentucky. I've sold multiple homes out there as well. It's one of my favorite spots. And I would be on the lookout for, again, potential sales here coming in the next few months. But they're going to start building on the other side, on the Ohio side. On the other side of the ridge here soon, of homes that are going to have views of the Ohio River. So this community is awesome. Just be on the lookout for it. So here's some other ones that sold. Here's actually in Mount Auburn, sold for $1.7 million. Indian Hill, $1.9 million. 500 Indian Hill. 3512 Shaw Avenue in Hyde Park went for $1.995 million. St. Andrews Drive here in North Bend went for $2 million. That must have had views of the river. I can see the behind it. 408 Marietta in Terrace Park went for $2.05 million. There's an advertisement. There's the Ledgestone Way, went for $2.16. Kitty Kennard, Michelle Mamo sold that one. Way to go, girls. I know both of them. 33547 Raymar Boulevard. Here, let me make this a little bigger for you guys. Just go through these. In Hyde Park, went for $2.17 million. 245 Coldstream in Anderson went for $2.435 in Coldstream Club. So kind of all over, really, this batch in September. 91770 Given Road. I think I might be out that way tomorrow to do it. I want to do a driving tour of Indian Hill. So I might be out that way tomorrow. $2.59 million in Indian Hill. And Kugler Mill Road, also in Indian Hill, went for $2.683 million. And let's see. The other thing is that this one just hit the market in Indian Hill. So this estate with a garage for car enthusiasts hits the market for $3.1 million. This is at 9020 Whispering Hill Drive. The 7,000 square foot estate features luxury amenities and a 6-car garage. So if you're out there and you need a 6-car garage, hit me up and get you into this house. There have been 9 $3 million plus homes sold locally this year. Let's take a look at some of the photos if they got it here. They do not. Oh, no, here we go. Let me go through these real quick. 18-foot coffered ceiling, marble floors, and a chandelier in the study. I could work there. The home includes a lower-level wet bar, 4 bathrooms, one of the 5 bedrooms in the home. Has an exercise room on the lower level. Lots of outdoor space for entertaining. Here you go. The garage space is for car enthusiasts. Oh, there's lifts. That's awesome. With space for up to 6 cars and loads of storage. So if you're out there and you love cars, this might be the one for you, right? I love that it has the lifts. What is that? 1, 2, 3 lifts. Very cool. So maybe that's the 6th car because it has the 3 lifts. Maybe that's it there. Those darn realtors giving you that, that marketing verbiage. You never know. That looks to me for space, with space for up to 6 cars. There you go. So, tricky realtors. You got to watch out for those guys. I'm telling you. There's the laundry room. There is the back of the home. Looks over a large patio and acres of green space. Love that outdoor fireplace. Home's mudroom. Primary bathroom includes a large walk-in shower. There's the fireplace out and back with room for 2 seats. That's a move. There's an outdoor whirlpool tub. So there you go. So if you're someone or know someone who might be interested in that, I'd love to help you guys out. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to hit tonight? I think that's it for tonight, guys. So just to recap here tonight, a lot of growth out in Clermont County, in Batavia Township. New developments, an 808 lot by Dan Gilman, and Dries is also doing about what did I say, 120 or 160 lots going in, homes going in. So great place for appreciation. From now till the end of the year, whether it's resale, whether it's new construction, is a great time to buy. And then just maybe I'll bring some more of these luxury homes. Like I said, I'm going to go out to Indian Hill probably tomorrow and do a driving tour for the channel and get that out there. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, if you haven't, click that like button, leave a comment down below, share it with a friend. And if you're looking to buy or sell in Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky, hit us up at Team Sztanyo. We would love to help you out. Our tagline is to help you find your home and strengthen your family. We love serving clients here who are looking to relocate or people who are here. I'm getting more and more people who are like, should I sell now? Who are reaching out, and we're starting to have more and more of those conversations of like, hey, we might be hitting the top of the market here. Might be a good time to sell. So guys, have a wonderful Thursday evening. Have a safe and fun Halloween out there. Be careful, and go Bengals. Let's beat those Bears this weekend. We need to keep our playoff hopes alive till Joe Burrow and his toe return. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.